Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. J! Yay! You know, the one thing about Asia CEO is they figure out how to run a business. You control costs. You get your MC to double up as your speaker. Preferably you don't pay anyone anything because they're here to give back. So it's great to be here, and it is great to share this final message. So if we can get the slides up there, that'll be the breakthrough slides. And Scotty, if we can have the clicker over there, that'll be great. So, you might have noticed, this is life. You either in a problem, emerging from a problem, or about to go into right? And the reward for solving problems is that you get more money, you get more prestige, you get more happiness, you get more success, and you get bigger problems to solve, right? And so really what we want to do is embrace these problems, right? And just start to see that actually these are challenges that are sent not to obstruct but to instruct, right? That these adversities come with real advantages. And so the question is, how do we turn, that wound into our wisdom, right? How do we turn that challenge into our opportunity? And in the little time I've got, I'm going to share with you 5 P's, because all good things start with a P, my fellow Pinos. And so I'm going to share the 5 P's to breaking through. Are you ready for your 5 P's to breaking through? If you are, raise that hand in there and say, yes, yes. All right, number 1. Your first P is personal responsibility. Personal responsibility. Unfortunately, to err is human, to blame is more so, right? For many people, they have a very simple success strategy: find somebody to blame. Ever since Adam blamed Eve for eating the apple, this has been a very popular strategy. Now, look, we don't choose everything that happens to us, yeah? We don't choose everything that happens to us, but we can always choose our response. And this is the meaning of the word responsibility. It is the ability to respond. And as long as we are alive, we have that ability. There's a psychologist at Harvard University called J.B. Rotter, and after extensive research, he found that most humans could pretty much be divided into one of 2 categories: those with an internal locus of control and those with an external locus of control, right? People with an external locus of control, they're looking for someone to blame. It's the economy, it was COVID, it's the recession, it's something outside of themselves. People with an internal locus of control, they are asking a question, and I'm going to share some powerful questions with you today. Because, my friends, questions are far more powerful than answers. It's the quality of the questions that determines the quality of the answers that you get. In fact, I'm not going to give you many of the answers. I'm going to give you the questions so that you can find the answers yourself. So you might want to write a challenge down right now. And you're not going to be sharing this with anyone. So test this out. So I want you to write down a challenge: personal, business, relationship, financial, something that you're kind of struggling with at the moment. Because I want you to start to apply this to your own life. We've seen the power of that today, haven't we? Right? That we're not just sitting back taking in some information. If we're going to turn this into wisdom, we need to see how we can apply it. So if you've got a challenge in your life, this would be a great opportunity to test this to see if you can get your breakthrough. Now, the first step, of course, is acknowledging, right? You can't change what you don't acknowledge. You can't fix what you don't face, right? So once we're clear about that challenge, we want to make sure that we are taking responsibility, and we do that with a very simple question. The question is, what can I do about it? Now, that's not to say that you have to fix it all on your own, right? Absolutely. You've got colleagues, you've got friends, you've got people you can call on, but you want to be the first cause, right? That question activates your internal locus of control. That question activates your internal locus of control. What can I do about it? You say, Justin, I've hit a brick wall. Okay? What can you do about it? Look for a door, look for a window, get a ladder, climb over, get a shovel, dig your way underneath, get a bulldozer, or put up a picture and enjoy the wall. Sometimes the answer is accept. Right? We can't always change everything, but if we make a decision to accept, that is actually far more empowering than feeling like we don't have any control. Because while we may not be able to control the outside world, we can always control the inside world, right? We can control our attitude. So, if you're doing this right now, I want you to write down 5 solutions. Now, you might say, Justin, why 5? You probably only need one solution, but you see, you need lots of solutions to get good solutions, right? And we want to get into a solution-oriented mindset. You know how we're really good as humans at seeing the problem, but not so much as seeing the solution? So we want to retrain our brain. That's what we want to do here. We want to retrain our brain. Now, Jess helped us do that a little earlier, right? Because she showed us, well, you can say fortunately or unfortunately. What's unfortunately? Unfortunately is the problem. Fortunately is the solution. Yeah? And so when you're saying, hey, this is what's wrong, hey, but you know what? This is what's right. Now have you noticed that we're really good at, asking people what's wrong, but we never really go up to people and say what's right. So your first question is, what can I do about it? And you want to write down 5 solutions. Because I promise you, amazing human, whatever you are facing, somebody has faced that and got through. They have got through. This is your opportunity. I was in Dubai speaking with Gary Bailey. Gary Bailey was a goalkeeper for Manchester United. And he told me this beautiful story. He said when he first got to Manchester, Alex Ferguson said to him, Gary, when you go between those goalposts, what do you say to yourself? And he's like, I don't know, I guess, I say, so Gary's from my country, from South Africa. He says, I don't know, I guess I say that I'm really proud to be here, this kid from Africa playing for the greatest football club in the world. I guess that's a matter of opinion. He said, Gary, I want you to try this. When you go between those goalposts, I want you to say, I am the greatest goalkeeper in the world. Give me the chance to show how great I am. He goes like, well, what, I say that out loud? He says, no, you just say that in your own head. I'm the greatest goalkeeper in the world. Give me the chance to show how great I am. Gary will tell you can actually see the difference between the ball saved before and after he started saying that to himself. He became a better keeper. But he said, Justin, more important than that, I became happier. He said, if you look at footage of him before, he was always playing with a frown on his face. He was playing with fear. Oh my gosh, I don't want to have to deal with the problem. I don't want to have to. Because what was Gary's problem? Gary's problem was the ball, right? But now he was saying, I want the problem. Bring it on. I'm good at solving this problem, right? I want that. And then he starts to play with joy. And you see in the post, he's playing with a smile on his face. And one thing we know is that happiness boosts just about every business objective. The Parnassus Workplace Fund only invests in happy companies, has a 7% higher return than average. 7%. Why? Think about it. When you're depressed, frustrated, angry, distressed, how well can you sell, serve, or lead? Right? Have you noticed that when you feel good, you do good? You're more compassionate, you're kinder. Your happiness, my friend, shows innumerable benefits on the world. Yeah? So Gary started playing with joy and he became better. Now, Gary's problem was that ball. Okay? Your goalposts would be your office or wherever it is that you work. When you step into your goalposts each day, and that ball is coming at you, what do you say to yourself? Do you say, I really hope somebody else will sort this out? Why is this happening to me? This is so unfair. Or do you say, bring it on? Oh yeah, there's Scott, the heart. Feel it, feel the fear, because there's fear, and do it anyway. And see this as an opportunity for me to show how great I am. Yes, bring it on. You want to be the person that people send the problems to. Yeah. Because have you noticed, that's business. If there is no problem, there's no business. Right? Rebecca is successful in business because she's successful at solving her clients' problems. She's a great goalkeeper. And that's the same for any of you. So we want to embrace that. those problems, that we want to stretch our problem-solving muscles. And we want to say, yes, bring it on. Yeah? Bring it on. So say it with me. That ball is coming at you. And you're not going to say, it's not fair, this is wrong, this shouldn't. You're going to say, bring it on. Let me hear that. Bring it on. And again, bring it on. That's what you want to say to yourself. Bring it on. I know it's tough. Yes, the heart's beating. But you're going to take it on because this is your time to shine. My friends, it is easy to be happy when everything's going well. But can you step it up when things are challenging? That's the time. That's our time to shine. Our second P. Are you ready for your second P? If you are, raise that hand in there and say, yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Number 2, positivity. Positivity isn't expecting to get the best of everything. Positivity is making the best of everything that you get. It is how we see things. See, thoughts are not reality. Thoughts are an interpretation of reality. What does the Bible tell us? In the beginning there was the Word. What is a word but a single thought? Thought creates emotion. How you think is how you shall feel. Think negative, pessimistic thoughts, you're going to be depressed and anxious. Think positive, upbeat thoughts, you're going to feel a whole lot better. Thought creates emotion. Emotion comes from the Latin meaning to move. Emotion creates action. Positive emotion creates positive action. Action creates habit. What we repeatedly do becomes a habit. We don't even have to think about it anymore. And yes, my friends, the holy grail of transformation is habit. It's habit. We want to do it without even knowing that we're doing it. The difference between happy and sad, mental habits. The difference between success and failure, behavioral habits. Habit comes from the Greek, habitus. Habitus means character. Habit creates character. Character creates destiny. Folks, our destiny is given birth in the thoughts that we think to ourselves. I've been teaching this for many years, and I noticed I still had a lot of negativity. And I started to feel a little bit like a hypocrite. I'm teaching this, but I've still got this little mind. And then I come across the work of Rick Hansen. Rick Hansen is a neuroscientist. And what Rick Hansen discovers is that actually we are all more negative than positive. Do you know that there are twice as many words in the English language to describe negative emotions as positive emotions? If we put up a negative image, say of somebody injured, versus a beautiful image of a sunset, the negative image activates much more of the brain than the positive image. That's why in the news they say if it bleeds, it leads. And that's why we've got to be careful. What do you allow into the garden of your mind? Do you plug yourself in to Facebook and Instasham and all that sensational news that is designed to what? Sell adverts. And what sells adverts is sensational negative news. And then you come away with the sense that the world is in actually much poorer shape than it is. Because actually, the world, even with this war, which is terrible, if we look over at the trajectory, we live in the most unprecedented comfort and safety in the history of humankind. You know this in the Philippines, right? You know, and I know there's challenges in your beautiful country, but if you look, you guys are there. You're on this beautiful upward trajectory. Let's see it. Let's remember it. And let's not get hoodwinked by the news to think that things are so much worse than they are. So what happens is you got a challenge. You wrote that challenge down. And what happens when we see that challenge is we usually go, oh no, a problem. And we go, this is what's wrong and this is wrong. And have you noticed how we can exaggerate the problem and generate? It's not just this problem, it's my whole life. And it's not just going to be for now, it's going to be forever, right? And it's not anyone else, it's all me, right? Have you noticed we can be, our minds can kind of be like drama queens. We tend to exaggerate. The word in psychology is we catastrophize. We turn it into a catastrophe, right, when it's not. The problem is when you do, that's the real problem, by the way. The real problem is not the problem. The problem is the thinking about the problem. So how do we solve the thinking problem? This is the question, and this is such a gem. I feel, honestly, I feel like I'm about to hand over treasure to you. It's the greatest treasure I could possibly hand over to you. For me, what I'm about to share with you is more important than money, than any material gift that I could possibly give you. This question has changed my life. I ask this question multiple times through the day, because if you notice, there are multiple challenges through the day. It's become part of my mental habit. Any challenge, I ask this question: what is good about it? Yes, my friends, what is good about this challenge? Remember, the brain is always going, what's bad about it? What's terrible about it? We have to counteract that negativity. This is not just slap a positive thought that I don't really believe. No, it's not that kind of positive thinking. This is what I call reality-based positive thinking. You've got to believe it. What is good about it? If any of you are doing this exercise, you can do it while I'm talking. Right there, what is good about it. Now, if you're thinking, Justin, you don't know what I am going through. There is nothing good about this. Let me tell you about a woman I interviewed on my CNBC show. Her name is Allison. She was raped, stabbed, assaulted, left for dead. Miraculously, she survived. She told me something I will never forget. She said, Justin, if I could, I would never make that event unhappen. How can she say that? Well, Allison will tell you that because she came so close to death, she appreciates life so much more. She'll tell you that this trauma brought her closer to her family. Her relationships were deepened. She'll tell you that she is now able to empathize with others who have been through this, and she's become an inspiration to them. So this event has become her life mission, to help and inspire and lift others who've been through the same. Does it mean that that thing was a good thing? No. But it means that it is possible to derive good out of everything that happens if we're prepared to find it. So, what is good about this? You can think, what can I learn from this? Yeah? Remember, you either win or you learn. How can this make me a better person? How can this build my character? Yeah? You want to write those down. Now, it really helps to write it down. Through the day, this has become so much a part of my psyche that I can just do it, and you can too. But when you're dealing with a real challenge, you don't just want to do it in your head. You want to write it down so that you can see the gift, yeah, the true gift that is in this challenge. 5 things. You want to flood your mind, right? Remember that mind veers to the negative, right? So we need to counteract it. What is good about this? What is good about this? You got it? Yeah? Beautiful. Are you ready for your third P? If you are, raise that hand and say, yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. So, there's 2 men in a building site in the Middle Ages, and a passerby asks them, what are you doing? And the one replies, I'm cutting stone. It's hard, it's boring, my back is killing me, but at least I get a bowl of soup at the end of the day. And he asks the other one, he says, what are you doing? He looks up at the sky, his eyes shining, smiling. He says, me, I'm building a cathedral. Who's going to be more motivated, more fired up? Yeah? The one who's just putting stone on top of the other, or the one who's building something bigger than herself? Without a doubt, it's the cathedral build. They're doing the same thing, right? But they're doing it in a very different way. The one is doing it as a job, the other is doing it as a calling. The other is doing it with purpose. Folks, your third key to breaking through is purpose. If you're just looking at the challenge as this brick wall that you've got to get through, you're going to be much more empowered, or rather much less empowered to break through than if you see it as part of your purpose, right? Now think about it. Your ability to get through this challenge, think that you become a model of what's possible, a model of resilience to others, to your family, to your friends, to your colleagues. I don't know what your challenge is, but my bet is that by breaking through, that's going to enable you to accomplish something that's even bigger than yourself. See, purpose is always about contribution. That's why we're here. Together we can change the world. This is pure purpose, right? When we go out there and we with those beautiful children and who under tough circumstances and we are, that's when you are giving back. Now, purpose, the truth is, doesn't have to be just at an orphanage. Now, this is purpose here as well, right? Purpose, if you want to activate your purpose, here's the question: how are people going to be better off because of me? How are people going to be better? When you go into any meeting, any situation, with a sense of the positive impact that's going to have on the people around you, that's purpose. So a couple of days ago, when we were in Manila, we got this beautiful tour. We went on the bamboo cycling tour. Have any of you guys done that? I come from Cape Town, South Africa, and I also haven't done all the tourist things, but I'm actually realizing that I want to do that, and I really want to encourage you to maybe do that, because you just kind of get seeped into your own beautiful history, and you guys have got such a beautiful history. I mean, it was particularly moving because we saw this wonderful statue of your national hero, Jose Rizal. Am I pronouncing his name correctly? What was really moving was also to see his execution, right? That he lost his life, right? He was prepared to die, for this country. But this is what Jose Rizal said, and I thought it really captured purpose, perhaps better than anything else. He said, it's a useless life that is not consecrated to a great ideal. It's like a stone wasted on the field without becoming part of any edifice. Isn't that beautiful? It's like that stone that didn't get into the cathedral, right? And that's, now you might be thinking, okay, but that was, Jose Rizal, he's our national hero. I'm not necessarily going to be, doing that. But here's the thing about purpose. Goals, you live in the future. Yeah? Rebecca showed us the power of goals today. Absolutely, goals are wonderful. You have them in the future. That's not goals can be a means to your purpose. Purpose you can live today. Yeah, purpose you can live today. Because remember, all purpose is contribution. So every encounter that you have with another human being will leave them in one of three ways: better off, worse off, or neutral. If you leave them better off, if they're feeling a little more encouraged, a little bit more empowered, if they just feel a little bit more positive, because you did as little as giving them a smile, that's purpose. You fulfilled your purpose. That's it. It's as simple as that. It's having a positive impact on the people around you. That, my friends, is purpose. Are you ready for your fourth P to breaking through? If you are, raise both hands in the air and say, I. I noticed I did suddenly change the language there, but you guys just stepped right up to it. So here we go. Number 4 is people. People. So I come from South Africa. We have many languages and many tribes. We have the Zulu tribe. Now, the Zulu tribe are one of the great tribes of Africa. And in Zulu, there's a saying, Umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. A person is only a person because of other people. This is the philosophy of what the Zulu people call Ubuntu. So our ultimate intelligence is our social intelligence. Don't use all the brains that you've got. Use all the brains that you can borrow. Rebecca spoke about the power of relationships in your own success. And when you talk about the self-made man or self-made woman, we forget sometimes. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb with a team of 40 people. Right? We hear about Thomas Edison, but we don't see the other 39 people who were involved. And so your relationships critical to your breakthrough. One of the longest longitudinal studies of all time is at Harvard University. It's called the Branch Study of Human Thriving. It started in the 1930s. It's still going on today. All to understand what it takes to really become successful and happy. They're on the 3rd generation. And they check just about every variable that you can think of. IQ, whether you went to Harvard University or not, where you live. They found one factor that was more important than anything else. People who were highest on this one factor earned on average $120,000 more a year than those who were lowest on this factor. And even more importantly, they were happier, a lot happier. What was that one factor? Interesting phrase that they use in the research. The warmth of their relationships. The warmth of their relationships. If they had warm, loving, connected relationships, you see way increases in happiness and success. And just think about it. When you're fighting with your partner, with a friend, with a colleague, how happy are you, right? We need those relationships. But here's the thing. We don't come out of the womb with our social skills, right? We have to develop them. And if they're working for you, great. But if they're not, change them. Yeah? Now, that's really what winning with relationships is all about. And I want to give that book away. But here's the first law. It's 21 laws in love and in business. The number one law is this. Give to get. You want to get more? Give more. Give more. Yeah. We think about giving. We've spoken a lot about together we can change the world. What do great business people do? They give great value. They give great products. They give great service. They give of themselves. This idea that service is this thing we do on our Sabbath and the rest of the week we go and make money, I think does us a disservice. I truly believe business is spiritual. When you create products and services that serve others, that's spiritual. You are serving. But if you're coming in here and saying, no, it's just bricks one on top of the other, and that's how we need to remind ourselves, what is the impact of what we are doing here? Because if you are winning in business, you are a giver. And the more you give, the more you get. The more you give, the more you get. When you serve others, you serve yourself. So how's this? If you made, say, an unexpected cup of tea for your partner, it would raise their happiness, but the research shows it would raise your happiness 50% more than theirs. And scientists think that it's got to do with a neurochemical in the brain called oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is emitted in mother's milk. It's that lovely warm bond between mother and baby. But it's also a natural anti-inflammatory that protects the heart against stress-related damage. Isn't that amazing? Here's the bad news. If you go through a major crisis, like you go bankrupt or get divorced, you've got an increased chance of dying over the next year by 30%. Here's the good news. If you're somebody who regularly serves and helps others, your increased chances of dying are 0. Scientists think it's the oxytocin protecting the heart. Isn't that amazing? So how do we get the oxytocin flowing? You do not need to look for a breastfeeding mother. All you need to do is reach out, connect, serve. Sometimes serving is just seeing someone, acknowledging them, appreciating them. The Zulu people, the way they say hello is sawubona. And sawubona means I see you. I don't see whether you are young or old, male, female, black, white, rich, poor. I see you. I see your honor. I see your potential. And when I really see, I see your divinity. An amazing thing happens when you see people in that way. They reflect back what you see. Treat people as they can be, and that's what they become capable of being. Everybody wants their higher self recognized in that way. People, are you ready for your fifth P? Fifth and final P to breaking through. If you are, raise that hand in the air and say, yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Good. We've had quite a day, haven't we? And I'm going to be calling up wonderful Jana with her wonderful blue hair, which I hope we're going to be seeing more of very soon, in a moment. But before I do, I need to ask you a question because it talks to our fifth P. Have you got some insight or inspiration from today? Yeah? Okay, great. I love to hear that. I'm not allowed to say but, so I'm going to say and. Bill Gates says, if you get an insight or inspiration, you better darn do something about it within the next 24 hours or the chances are against you ever doing anything. It's pretty sobering, isn't it? I want you to write down one thing that you're going to do in the next 24 hours. It could be absolutely anything. One thing that you're going to do within the next 24 hours that you weren't going to do before. It needs to be practical. It needs to be specific. You need to know what time. This really helps when you time frame it. What time you are going to do it. I want you to write that down. I'm going to take one or two and I'm going to give away winning with relationships to the person who shares with me what you are going to do within the next 24 hours. Was that a hand up? Good, I like it. I like it. I want to get that microphone. I want to hear this loud and clear. I want to hear this in stereo, Dolby sound. I want it echoing across Manila. Let's hear it. What are you going to do within 24 hours? Oh, good.
Winning with relationships.
Yes. Yeah? Okay, good. Right now. And you're doing it anyway.
Yes.
That's good. I really like that. What's your name?
Weeds.
Weeds. Of course we spoke a little earlier. I just, in this different environment.
Yes.
We connected a little earlier. But this is not a setup. We did not set this up. Weeds told me something and I really appreciate it. She came up, she said, Justine, I'm a little scared. Justine, thank you for being real. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Growth is on the other side of discomfort.
That's right.
Okay,
Yes.
let's hear it.
Let's hear it. So, winning with relationships. The pandemic has been very tough. One of the things that I realize is what happens to one person happens to the community, at work, at school. So, to give context, when the pandemic hit, my third daughter, I have 5 kids, my third daughter was locked up in her condo. She was 18. And when we got her out, about 4 months later, in our home, she locked herself in her room. Less than a year later, she ran away. She came back, and then she started seeing psychologists, so she was diagnosed with depression. When she was diagnosed with depression, everybody in my family was tiptoeing around her, including me. I would get into
I want to, let's get a microphone. I want to hear every word. So I'm going to recap as we get the next microphone. So you're telling us about it, or your daughter. Okay, there we go.
So she would, shout and say, get out, get out. In the most hurting voice, she would say that. And another year later, she started hurting herself. So there would be days when she would be, inside her room, and her psychologist would call. We just had a session in 24 hours. Please hide your knives, hide everything that, would give her access and do harm to herself. I work in the BPO as a senior director for finance. So the work in itself in a crisis during the pandemic was very tough. And during those times, I would be in a call, let's say until 2 a.m. And after 3 a.m., I would be standing outside my daughter's door, putting my ears, if she's still, I can hear something, or if she's breathing. And then I would open the door. And again, if she's awake, she would throw whatever it is to the door at me. So, what I will do within the next 24 hours, since, we just allowed her, she's better now, she's out when she's okay, but more time she's not. And we just lived with it, but I haven't really reached out and really tried to sit and talk and all the things that, And as I said, in that situation, what was happening in my internal world, in my family, working from home and everything, it also has an impact in the bigger organization. And I think for HR practitioners here, I think there needs to be a shift. Because I think there is still that concept of, this person is bad, this is a workplace bullying, that you do this and you do that. Instead of understanding that we are in a very difficult time and in a very difficult situation, and we are called upon to be different people, not looking at that's right, that's wrong, but I really love, although I cannot yet understand and resonate with Jessica, with a yes and, because as a person in charge, a boss or whatever, I'm used to getting a yes. No but, no and. So if there's anything that I'm learning right now is asking and making it okay for my children, my husband, the people I work with, to say no and not take it against me or a defiance of my authority or a rebellion. And when I come home, I'll talk to my daughter. I ask her if she's okay, if she's ready. And if she's not, I'll walk away and then try again until she is open and she is willing to talk to me, instead of just pretending that everything is okay, nothing is going on.
So powerful, so powerful. I want to thank you. We are in something of a global epidemic of emotional distress. This is on the increase. Your family is far from the only one. It's across the planet. Something that's very close to my heart. It's actually what my doctorate is in. But you've given us some wisdom here, because I think often as parents, even coaches, managers, bosses, we think we've got to go in and fix. I've got to fix and change and stop this, or let's pretend it's not happening, right? Let me just stick my head in the sand, right? That's not going to make it go away either, right? Remember, we can't fix it with our own face, but the fixing comes later, Here's what we know immediately, exactly what we'd said. Go and just be there to listen. Carl Rogers, one of the great psychotherapists of the 20th century, he pioneered this idea of unconditional positive regard. What that means is, can I sit with that person who's struggling, team member, colleague, daughter, son, and just be there and listen. Hear them out. And what did Gianna teach us earlier? Active listening. So I'm understanding, you're feeling this. You're feeling sad or angry. Just reflect. Be the mirror. Be the mirror. Yeah? When you're the mirror, that's when they feel accepted. And acceptance is key to healing. It's key to healing. When I feel like you will love and accept me, even with what I've done or what I've said, or I'm going to be on the road to healing. And so that is powerful, that is profound. To be willing to go and be with her, to sit with her and listen, and just to know. And even when she says that thing that is so painful for any parent to hear, I'm depressed, or I'm angry, or I want to hurt myself, or I don't want to be here. Or you can just go, that must be really painful for you. As opposed to, no, don't say that, you can't, right? Because I can't say it, then I've got to hide it. But if you can say, oh man, I feel your pain. You can show them that you feel their pain. I'm with you, God, darling. Yeah? Okay, once then, only then do we start to say, how can I help you? Ask. Don't assume you know how to help. How can I help you? What could I do? Baby, what can I do for you? And sometimes it's going to be just, I don't know. Okay, that's okay. But I want you to know I'm here for you. I want you to know that I am here for you. That's what they need more than anything. You don't need a fix. Just let them know you're here without judgment. You'll be there. You'll be there. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you. She was like, you are not holding that book back. Thank you for sharing. That was powerful. I want to thank you all. I need a handover. Jana's looking at me. with that beautiful blue hair. That blue hair we love so much. Folks, the fifth P was performance. It's what you are going to do. It's what one action. Weeds shared one of the most profound actions. For those of you who want to stay connected to me, every week I do a breakthrough insight. You can sign up for it on the website, and then on social media, it's Breakthrough with Dr. J. There's what we discussed earlier about how to say no. That video is on there. There's continual insights. But right now, I want to call up our friend Jana. I want to thank you all. Today has been a really special day for me, and I think I speak on behalf of our whole team. It's been very moving. There's things that have happened here today that have not happened before for me in my 20-year career, and that's because of you. I feel like there's something about you guys, your willingness to be open and honest and open your hearts to us. Tony, it started with you. I really want to acknowledge you, and I think you played a very important role in what's happened here today. You gave me permission. I wouldn't have shared what I shared if it wasn't for you. Yeah. I don't know if Weeds would have felt that she could if we had. Do you see what happens? It's contagious. You started a virus, Tony. A beautiful virus of authenticity and openness. And I want to thank you, and I want to thank all of you for opening your hearts.